glad that we have. Yes, if I mean they cannot, we could not get it. But if I mean they would say that they have bought, if I mean those cement, to the country, and if they brought that amount of cement, and they dump it, by our port, how many ships would be able to?
Well, let me move on from that.
So let me just say that. So there was certainly collusion between some of these shipping people. Some might be some officials.
Right.
And
what about the indigenization decree? I don't mean to interrupt you.
I only during my time only dealt with, if I mean most of the commercial areas, etc., the Lebanese shops, etc. That was what I did. We were very careful, dealing with, if I mean, the oil companies or the big companies, because I wanted to make sure that at least, if I mean, all parts of the country are able to benefit, from it. One of those things was done by the government that succeeded me. If I mean, Obasanjo's government,
right.
not me.
Right. Okay. That is a fair assessment, because we know that a lot of the implementation of the indigenization decree happened subsequent to your government.
Yes.
You had promised Nigerians that there would be a return to civil rule in 1975, and then you postponed that date indefinitely. Why did you do that?
No, the main reason I can tell you is that when we gave the promise that this is going to happen, when some of my all the commissioners left, they started this infighting, political infighting, among themselves. And it was honestly reminiscent to the pre-January the 15th.
Right, so it wasn't just you trying to hold on to power.
No, that is not, because I promised that this is, I was going to restore power by 76. But because of this attitude, honestly, I was genuinely, afraid that it is going to get us back to, the period that brought,
So you thought the best
situation.
way to deal with it would be to postpone
it, and then we had a very big economic development plan, and even before then. When they said there was nothing happening in Nigeria, was it not the time that we were having the roads? We started building economic roads from Sokoto, Ilela to Badagry, from Maiduguri to Calabar, and to all the major ports in Nigeria. Is it not the time that, in fact, we have Volkswagen, Peugeot, Steyr, Leyland, and Mercedes were ready to come to Nigeria to invest in Nigeria? Was it not the time that we had investment that was coming to Nigeria after the Civil War, when they saw, the way we were going, and things were going well? We are choosing, the investors that could invest. And not only to invest, their money, but the know-how, the technology, etc., so that Nigeria can move beyond what it is. Or you can, all right, let's just say, what they are trying to do today in Nigeria.
Nevertheless, General Gowon, the decision to postpone that return to civil rule led to your overthrow. Some would make that argument. and a date that you probably won't forget, which is the 29th of July, 1975. You were overthrown in a coup whilst you were attending an OAU summit in Kampala in Uganda. How do you recall what happened and how did you react to it?
No, I can assure you, the interesting thing was that the reason why they said I was overthrown was that the government, that I went to Kampala to try and do exactly what the government was said. Nigeria has come of age and it can. No country can tell them what to do, etc. Now I went to Kampala. I encouraged the conference in Kampala after being chairman of the OAU in 73, so that we can decide on trying to help all the African countries that are still under colonial rule to become independent. And of course, the government that saw me off, this is what they were claiming they want to do. And they sort of condemn all those countries. And even, for example, refusing Kissinger to come to Nigeria, which I have organized so that he can meet me in August, about middle of August, to discuss American attitude towards African countries as a whole. So I think that one that I was overthrown because of that. Honestly, it did not worry me the least. This is what they had wanted to do. I knew about the plan. I was told that this is going to happen. Is going to happen by a special group that they say belong to me. And I didn't bother to find out, who they were.
Right.
I was only told two names who are very close to me and from my own particular.
And was Murtala Mohammed one of them?
No. Murtala Mohammed, I can assure you, if you want me to tell you my story, me and Murtala Mohammed, since school. I was a senior person in Barewa when he joined the school.
But he led your overthrow.
He could lead my overthrow, but I was told it is our boys.
Right.
Our boys. And honestly, it didn't bother me. I did not know who they were, fully who they were, until Bangida's book. That really showed who they were.
Right.
And,
but there was a report after that coup that implicated you in the coup that overthrew and killed Murtala Mohammed. You were declared wanted, you were stripped of your rank, your pension was stopped, and the allegation was that you met Lieutenant Colonel Dimka, who was the mastermind of that coup in London. Was that allegation true?
Well, he came with other people, other people. He came with them.
So he met you in London?
Well, he met us, me, my family, and these people that wanted to come and see me. I did not know that he was even in the UK until when he came to see me.
So what did he say to you when he came to see you?
Well,
did he say, I'm planning to have a coup?
Do you think that such a thing could be discussed with me? or would you believe that such a thing could be discussed with me? Well, if anything was said, I said a moment ago, I told you that what took me to Kampala is what the government was trying to do, to say that they've come of age, and they've come of age, and nobody can tell them what to do, and they even jettison, or refuse, what's his name, to come to to visit.
You mean Henry Kissinger?
Pardon?
No, you were saying, what's his name? I'm wondering, were you talking about Henry Kissinger?
Kissinger,
right? Who was the Secretary of State of the United States
and
at
if you
the
remember,
time.
and he's also head of the security.
Yeah.
And my goodness me, if you do that before you can be in trouble.
Right.
But however, let us say this: yes, he came along with these people that who are one, of them was from close to me. He's like a brother. He came along with them. In fact, he asked them if they could take him back to his hotel or whatever it is, and but they said no, they've got to come and see me, and so they cannot, they cannot take him, but he can come along with him.
So he sort of tagged along.
So along with them,
right.
And we saw, and he did mention that that government is going communist, and so I said, but that government is doing exactly the sort of thing. I went to Uganda, Kampala, to do. So, but he was complaining about, the government being...
So he was complaining generally, but he wasn't very specific about what he was going to do about his complaints.
What we are going... No, not what I'm going to do. I have nothing to discuss. I was warning him, the way he was saying it, talking about communism, etc., etc.
Right.
I was worried. I said, but that is the sort of thing that you are complaining about, senior officers doing things without consulting them. I said, is that not the sort of thing that all of you were doing to me before? So I said, no, I want him. I said, talking about communism, what do you know? Senior officers have to take decisions that, and it is for you people, for you younger ones, to listen to them, because they are doing it on your behalf and on behalf of the whole country. I was myself, worried, about that statement, and I was wondering who authorized him to leave the country to a foreign country. And to UK. And the way he was speaking, honestly, I suspected that he has some contact with some some intelligence officers,
right,
who are fanning this question of
a coup. In any case,
not of a coup,
right,
of anti-communism,
right,
or some people that are trying to make sure that because of our old relationship with the...
Right. Well, as I'm sure you know, he subsequently returned to Nigeria and carried out a coup,
yes,
against Murtala Mohammed, in which Murtala Mohammed was assassinated, and he himself, Dimka, was subsequently caught and executed.
Yes.
You, at the time, as I mentioned, they had mentioned your name along with that, but in the end, you were pardoned by President Shagari, and your military rank...
I was not pardoned by Shagari.
Right.
Okay. Yes, when Shagari wanted to, was involved in government, I think, etc. They wanted Ojukwu, Ojukwu's case to be done. So they wanted to pardon Ojukwu,
right.
and of course, they said they wanted to pardon me, and I sort of say, pardon who? Me? My goodness gracious me!
Yeah.